How are you, sir? I'm okay with that. But when I speak now, you can hear me? Okay. So I will just let him, I want him to know we're just gonna give it 5 more minutes to see if we can allow others to sign on.
Sounds good. Do you want me to unmute him?
Yes, so he can say hello. Thank you, sir. Cheers. Hello again, Mr. Alvarez. We have unmuted you. We want to be sure that you can hear us. If you can hear us, we want you to know that we're just waiting just a minute or two to see and allow other businesses to be able to sign on to this morning's session. So if you could just bear with us, and thank you so very much for signing on.
Okay, great. Can you hear
Good
me?
morning, Mr. Alvarez. I can hear you now.
Oh, good. How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir. We're just
Good.
holding on a few minutes to, we usually give them about 5 minutes to allow businesses more time to sign on. Thank you so much for signing on timely.
Oh, yes, you're welcome.
Okay, be patient with us and we will start after, we're looking to start in a few more minutes. Let's see if we can get some more people to sign on.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
okay.
Good morning, Miss Atia Hamilton. I see that you've joined us this morning. Thank you so very much. We are just allowing a little more time to let more businesses sign on, but thank you for joining us this morning. And just be patient with us. We're just allowing a few more minutes to let businesses sign on. Good morning, Director Collins. Thank you so much for joining us. We are just patiently awaiting to allow more businesses an opportunity to sign on. Thank you for joining us, sir. Good morning, Brenda. Thank you so much for coming aboard.
Morning.
Good morning, and thank you all for joining us for our launching of the new BID CIP, which stands for Capital Improvement Program that the City of Miramar has. Our CIP project scope review sessions. I am Karen Hollis. I will be moderating these events, and thank you all for attending today's session. I did provide an opportunity for these sessions to be reviewed by businesses that should elect to do so in the future. We will be recording all of the sessions, and the sessions will be placed on our website, and we will provide information as to how any business that's interested in reviewing these sessions or the recording of these sessions will be able to do so after today. I am Karen Hollis. I am with the City of Miramar in the Economic and Business Development Department. We are hosting these monthly CIP project review sessions, believe it or not, in direct response to small, minority, and disadvantaged businesses asking the city to provide more advanced notifications of upcoming contracting opportunities with the city. One of the measures in which we are seeking to do that is through these monthly reviews of the capital improvement program projects. Now, in case you are not aware, the City of Miramar has adopted a 5-year capital improvement program that goes from the fiscal years 2022 all the way through and including 2026. There are a number of projects that have been tentatively scheduled to be released during those sessions. What we will be reviewing through these sessions are those that have been allocated for fiscal year 2022. There are approximately or tentatively 37 projects that have been allotted for this year, and to the tune of, get this, $32,744,350. Allow me to say that again. $32,744,350. That is the budget that's been tentative budget that's been allocated for the CIP project for fiscal year 2022. Okay. To allow more businesses time, I'm going to go over and let you know what the Business Inclusion and Diversity Program is about and give you basic overview so you can have an understanding of who we are and what we do. And then we'll go into the review of the projects that have been allocated for today's session. Now, who are we? The Business Inclusion and Diversity Programs is the tool and the instrument that the City of Miramar used to design change management strategies. The goal of the programs and services that we implement are to educate, connect, and to help local, small, minority, and disadvantaged businesses to grow. BID ensures that businesses are afforded access to participate in the city's procurement process. And BID strives to eradicate discriminatory barriers. Notifications ahead of time is one of those barriers we're seeking to eradicate today, those that are identified in a disparity study. And we do so by developing programs to advance the vision and the goals of the city of Miramar. Now, the city of Miramar had a disparity study done, which covered the periods between 2011, through 2016. There are recommendations that were given to the city of Miramar as to some of the measures that we can do to eradicate some of the barriers that were identified in the study. Here are the initial programs and services that were implemented by the BID program seeking to address those concerns. One thing that we did was equal access. I've always had an open door policy whereby I meet one-on-one with small business empowerment meetings, where I literally get to know the end user, have that end user, that business, that minority firm communicate to me what it is that they think they desire and are in need of in terms of help so that they can grow their business. We have the BID Academy, where we are fostering job creation through workforce and through an educated workforce. And what we try to do there is to ensure we continue to advance monthly webinars and skill building opportunities for the businesses to grow and to learn more and accumulate additional skills that's going to allow them to be more advantageous to a prime contractor. We definitely do outreach. We participate in a lot of the various conferences that our stakeholders are having in the Tri-County area from Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach. And we try to use these opportunities to get to know more businesses and let them know about the wonderful things that the city of Miramar is doing to help them grow their businesses. We try to attract firms that may be interested in having their business be located in the city of Miramar. We also try to ensure that we disseminate flyers and information so that businesses can be well aware of all of the assistance that the city of Miramar has implemented and is advancing for their benefit. Mentoring. Virtual mentoring is a platform whereby the city has implemented things that we have stakeholders and those prime contractors or various leaders in the community to come on board and partner with us to be able to share some of the wonderful things that they're doing to help small businesses grow. We also have prime contractors come on board that gives businesses tips that they can use in terms of showing the success that they've been able to do. We've recorded all of our sessions and you will be able to review at any time by visiting the Economic and Business Development website, which leads you to the BID page, and you'll be able to access any of those previously recorded webinars. We also have monitoring and compliance, and the way that we do that is through the B2G Now program, whereby we're trying to ensure that we equip and give tools to prime and sub consultants to be able to more effectively complete and ensure that they are in compliance with the contractual obligations in terms of minority participation goals on city projects. And so that's a tool that we implemented as a direct result in addition to the disparity study. And then collaboration. People do business with people they know. We literally try to connect businesses, minority businesses, with other community stakeholders, with other prime contractors, with our all of those that may have opportunities that they can take advantage of, because the truth of the matter is everybody that desires to do business with the city of Miramar may or may not be successful for a myriad of reasons. And so we want to ensure that we're not just communicating those things that the city of Miramar has in place to give you contracting opportunities, but also those things that we become aware of and that our stakeholders in the Tri-County area are advancing. Okay, let's talk a little bit about what the city of Miramar continues to do. As of this year, April of 2021 to be exact, the commission added the BID Act to the city code. And there are three of the many things that are in that act that are is the reason that the city of Miramar has decided to do so. Number one, to provide more diversity and inclusion on city contracting and purchasing programs. Number two, to prohibit business discrimination, those businesses particularly that are in the pursuit of taking advantage of these opportunities. And third is to implement programs and services through bid to ensure that businesses are getting the service and the help that they need to be able to sustain themselves and to grow. Now, since the implementation of the BID Act, here are some additional programs and services that have been implemented to be able to ensure that we're going still above and beyond the call of duty to continue to advance measures that are going to help businesses grow. Since the BID Act, we had the one-on-one meetings as a direct result of the disparity study. Now the BID Act is the foundation upon which we use to build and develop programs and services. Social impact, we really want to ensure, like I said earlier, people do business with people they know. We want our department directors to know who you are and to know about the available, ready and willing and qualified minority businesses that are available. So I'm often having department minority utilization strategy sessions. And that is when we allow a department director as well as the assistants come on sometime and they meet directly with the small business, because it's nice when I am able to meet with a director and talk a little bit about the qualifications of a minority business, but it's a greater impact when I allow and we create a safe space so that the minority business can meet directly with the director and the assistant directors and communicate their business qualifications, their experience, their services. It's a different kind of social impact that we're looking to implement, and we did so as a direct review of the BID Act and the promises and the commitments we placed in the BID Act. Next, we have the policies and procedures. We're implementing various policies and procedures that will allow us to continue to improve and ensure that we're having an open, fair, and a transparent process that we're making available to business. And the minority participation reporting. We literally look and go above and beyond on all of those items that are being submitted to the commission for approval to ensure that we have reviewed and are able to report to the extent that we can of the efforts that have been made to ensure inclusion. And last but definitely not least, the CIP monthly project scope review webinars. And this is the launch of that effort. And in this session, as you will see, we want to ensure that we make you well aware in advance of those CIP projects that the city is going to be making available. So let's get started. Now, and today's session is all about the upcoming city contracting opportunities. These are the capital improvement programs. You'll often hear me refer to them as just CIP. Let's get going. They are separated by departments. And the first screen, if you're looking at, these are all of the CIP projects that Parks and Recreation have been identified for that particular department to be able to release in 2022. As we go through in the list of the various departments, you'll see that we're going to tell you a little bit about the project. You're going to see the total project cost that's been allocated for any particular item. You're going to see the prior year's funding that's been allocated to the parks or any department that's being displayed. And then you're going to get to see the fiscal year 22 funding that's been allocated for the department for that particular item, as well as any future funding that remains available as we go through. Let's look at the first one, the park improvements. They're going to be doing landscaping. If you look at this chart that we have here available, these are all of the CIP projects for the Parks and Recreation Department that's been allocated for fiscal year 2022. First of which is the landscaping. We're going to give you a little bit more information about that and the measures that we put in place in that regard to make sure that we ensure more inclusion for minority consultants. Then you see there's going to be the ones that are highlighted in yellow are those that are released and will be addressed today. All of those that are not highlighted in yellow will be addressed in future CIP project scope review sessions. So as we go through on each page for each particular department, I went through ahead of times, and we're going to be highlighting every single month. You will know those things that are highlighted in yellow are the subject of discussion for this month's meeting. Those other projects either have not been addressed yet or will be addressed in the future and will be made available on the particular meeting as they become available. So let's talk about the things that the Parks and Recreation Department have done for this month. The skate parks. They were able to release and identify a minority consultant to assist them with a skate park project to the tune of $150,000, and that was already assigned and awarded to a minority firm. Another thing that Parks and Recreation was able to do for this month is to identify, we did release trying to identify for the East Historic Miramar Aquatic Pool renovation. Information was sent out trying to see if we had any minorities that are available to do this specific scope of work, and it has been elected as a sole source specialization after we did not receive any responses from minority businesses once the scope was sent out of their availability to provide this specific, detailed, and specialized type of pool liner. As a result, this will be a sole source specialization consultant that will identify for that, and that's the amount. Next, Shirley Branca Park Canopy Edition. This will be a piggyback contract from something that was done with Manatee County. When you see the piggyback, it is an official procurement that has been released by either another county, a state, or organization, public organization. And you will see that here for the Shirley Branca Park Canopy Edition, we were able to piggyback on the contract. And when the city takes those measures, it's about being efficient. As a fiduciary, we have a fiduciary duty to be efficient in the way that we manage public funds, and this allowed the city to have a significant price reduction by which they took advantage of to ensure we are adhering to the obligation to be as efficient as we can. The next project that's being available this month from Parks and Recreation or identified is the Arts and Park Places. You will see this is a sole source that's been identified, Mr. Basil Watts, which is also a minority firm. We want to be able to always provide in these sessions information of our success and being able to identify opportunities for minority firms and to let you know those opportunities that still remain available. So for Parks and Recreation, the number one thing is landscaping, and the amount that's available for Parks and Recreation is to the tune of about $200,000. So let's take a closer look at exactly what's going to be available in those opportunities. Here we've created a flyer to ensure that you have a full understanding. In this Parks and Recreation Department, and you're going to hear not just Parks and Recreations, but we have other departments as we go over that are also going to be looking to establish and ensure that they take part in this. So what are we doing? Parks and Recreations has gone above and beyond the call of duty of trying to ensure that they implement more minority inclusions. One of the things that they've been challenged with is the fact that very few, if any, minority businesses that we're trying to ensure more inclusion can handle all of the city of Miramar's parks maintenance and all of the measures that are required. Everything from mowing the grass, fertilization, trimming trees, pruning palms, pest control, irrigation, planting trees. That's a lot of work. And what the city has found over the decades is that it's too daunting of a task for a minority business to be able to do. And so what we're trying to do to ensure more inclusion, we're going to select a pool of minority consultants, and Parks and Recreation has cleverly identified smaller parks that can be managed by these pool of minority contractors, and they're going to be able to rotate through the selection. So to ensure that we provide advanced notification, which was one of the critical things that the small businesses cried out to leadership to say, we need to know about these projects before the city of Miramar releases the solicitation. We need to have an opportunity to voice our concerns and to say and to get involved with the development process before the city of Miramar releases the solicitation. We need to have a clear understanding of exactly what the city will be expecting before the solicitation is released, and then the cone of silence goes into play, and then we're limited by the amount of time that we have to respond. Here is working with and collaborating with Parks and Recreation and a few other departments. You will see an opportunity that we have developed to ensure and to answer to those concerns. We will be having a green space contractor workshop. The city of Miramar is going to reward up to $700,000 in landscaping projects to small minority and disadvantaged businesses. They're going to be looking for contractors that can do all of these things that's listed on the flyer and what I spoke of earlier. Here are the qualifications. We wanted to make sure you had that information in advance. You're going to need a business license. You're going to need the required licenses and certifications that are needed for your trade. You're going to need insurance, and you're going to need 3 years of experience. When you come to this Green Space Contractor Workshop, not only will you be hearing information directly from those 3 departments that are looking to take advantage of the pool of landscaping contractors that we're going to do once we release the solicitation. You're going to hear from those directors exactly what equipment is needed. You're going to hear from those directors exactly the scope of work and how they're looking to unbundle those scopes to ensure more inclusion for minority contractors. You're also going to hear and see pictures of the actual site, and they're going to have site opportunities for you to go and visit the parks and all of those measures. I believe we have Mr. Neal. Do we have Billy Neal on the line from Parks and Recreation? Billy, are you on? If not, we will definitely have him on in other sessions so that he can speak. And we have other consultants that are on that are going to speak about their particular projects. But Billy's the one from Parks and Recreation. So please, this session is going to be held on December 7th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., which is a Tuesday, right here in the commission chambers. We will be sending out this flyer to all participants that attended and signed up for today's session. If you know of any landscaping or minority business that can take advantage of this opportunity and may be interested in getting more information so that they can see if in fact they have the capability to be included in this pool, please, 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 once we send you the flyer, and thank you for having signed on today, please feel free to share this information with those sub-consultants so that they can have an opportunity to come take part. So those are the opportunities that are being made available through parks. Let's continue with the next department. Here we have Public Works, and Public Works is also another department for the month of November that will be taking part in that pool of green space contractors we're looking. And we do have the director for Public Works, Mr. Anthony Collins, that is on the call. And as you can see, Public Works has a certain amount of funding that they're going to be contributing toward this. So Mr. Collins, if you can get on board and unmute yourself and talk a little bit about what it is that Public Works will be looking for in terms of this green space contractor workshop. Please, sir. Paul, I think you need to unmute Director Collins so that he can speak. Are you able to hear me, Director Collins? Earlier we had difficulties. Paul, as it shows that he is still muted. Are you able to unmute him, Paul? As usual, when you have webinars, there are always technical difficulties, and we thank you in advance for your ability to be patient with us throughout this process. Paul, are you able to unmute them? Please respond. I see that they are all on, and for some reason, I am unable to allow them to unmute, and something is going on, so we'll continue. But I can assure you that the director, Anthony Collins, and his team will also be at that webinar on Tuesday, December 7th. And you will have an opportunity to meet with all of these directors and those that will be assisting in the process. In terms of the other department that will be having opportunities that are available, we have item 15 will be coming from the Engineering and Strategic Development Department. With that department, we will have an opportunity to talk about today Anson Sports Complex Phase 4 project. This is a project that's coming up, and that has a 10% CBE SBE participation requirement in the contract, in addition to a 5% local participation contract in that contract. And we're going to go over exactly the scope of work that's going to be made available from that, so that you can see as a business ahead of time whether or not you have the qualifications and experience to be able to participate. You will be able to review that scope of work. I'm also going to provide the information for the actual prime contractor so that you can contact yourself to identify and communicate with. And I'd like you to see also that Engineering and Strategic Development is the third department that I alluded to that will be taking advantage of the pool of local firms to the tune of $500,000. They will be looking to having landscaping beautification. Again, it is imperative for you to position yourself to be able to join us on Tuesday, December 7th, because we have 3 departments that are looking to take advantage of those pool of landscaping contractors that we're able to get in place. But for today's session, I want us to take a little bit and a review, an opportunity to go over the Phase 4 Anson Sports Complex. Here is the project title, and as you attend each and every one of these CIP project review scope sessions, this is what we had in mind in terms of making sure that we give you advanced information to be able to take advantage of. The project title is the Anson Sports Complex Phase 4. The project cost for this one project, $924,206.26. The contract manager is Mr. Benny Bajar. You can contact Mr. Bajar, and don't worry, we can definitely make this information available to anyone that sends me an email. I can email it to you, but his number is, or take a picture of the screen, 954-431-5981. And he's with Bajar Construction. And as we alluded to, there is a 10% contract participation goal for certified CBE and SBE firms, and we'll talk a little bit about exactly what that means later, and a 5% participation goal for local vendors and sub-consultants. And I'll explain exactly what the city of Miramar means when they say local vendors. But let's take a look at the scope of work. The scope of work includes, but is not limited to, all labor, materials, machinery, tools, equipment, and incidentals as necessary for the construction of the various improvements within the city's Anson Sports Complex, including the construction of a new roadway for a loop driveway connection with drainage and lighting improvements along the east and north side of the park, demolition and reconstruction of a portion of existing perimeter fencing, columns, and gates, along with other improvements to accommodate the new driveway connection and a new 400-meter track with associated track and field amenities. We have made it a commitment to ensure that not only do we let you know the project and the contract managers for upcoming opportunities, we're providing the contact information for Mr. Benny Bajar so that you can reach out and ensure and let him know you attended the CIP project scope review session with BID, and you are notified that there's a 10% contract goal for certified CBE and SBE firms, along with a 5% local goal if you're a local contractor, and we'll describe what that means. And you can contact Mr. Bajar and find out what, if any, opportunities. More importantly, look at the scope of work. And when you contact Mr. Bajar, you let him know, I understand that you will be looking for individuals or materials. My firm, we have these materials available. You're looking for machinery and tools. These are the tools, the equipments, and the machinery that we can offer. Those are the types of things that we're looking and hoping that will come about as a direct result of these sessions. And our goal here at the City of Miramar and BID is to ensure that we equip you with the information in advance and empower you to be able to have a more constructive decision with a prime contractor other than what can you do for me. I've reviewed the project scope of work. I understand that there's a project cost of $924,000. I understand that it's going to be done at the Anson Sports Complex. Here is my capability statements, and here's how I believe that my small minority disadvantaged certified firm can be of value to you on this project. Okay, let's take a look at another departments in the CIP projects that they have available. Here's support services. This is the construction industry, and we do have Mr. Daryl Johnson, which is the construction administration, on the line. Daryl, can you hear me? Are you able to unmute?
Yes, good morning, everyone. Yes, I can hear
Good
you.
morning, Daryl. So far, you're the only one I've been lucky enough. I believe Director Collins did not sign on as a panelist to be able to speak, but as a participant. But we will work on those types of things in the future. Daryl, please speak a little bit. I do have the slide that you provided, and for that monument, and I'm going to put it on the screen, and I'm going to allow you to take away to give them a little more information about what they can expect in terms of inclusion on this project.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Daryl Johnson, Construction Administrator, City of Miramar. The project that Karen is speaking of right now, this is known as the 911 Memorial at Regional Park Project. This project is going to be a dedication monument plaza at our regional park, which is on the it's west of 75 off of Miramar Parkway. It's going to be a memorial monument to the 911 survivors, police and fire. And this particular project consists of relics, actual relics, structural steel I-beam members that were actually a part of the World Trade Center. And the scope of work will include, as listed on the screen, three-sided aluminum side identified the project sign identifying the project. Let me skip down a little bit. The relics will be affixed atop of pentagon-shaped granite base. Let's see. Primarily, this scope of work, I don't want to go through each and every due to time, but primarily this scope of work is actual concrete and also pavers. We plan to solicit for bid solicitation because the project is 100% designed by the architect, and we plan to solicit for bids this week. I would say by Friday of this week, we should be advertised to bid the construction portion of this work. Primarily, the scope of work normally from my department, we mainly deal with contractors. So I would definitely suggest that if you're not an acting contractor with a license, that you would probably need to go to what is called our database, which is called Demand Star, and probably take a look at the list of contractors that are receiving the plans and possibly contact them. I just want to reiterate, primarily the scope of work that comes through my department is contractor based. I would say about 75 to 80%. We would need a prime contractor. However, the other 25 to 20% is mainly with subcontractors, and I can get into that a little later, but primarily I just want to stress emphasis is mainly contractor based. And that's pretty much it with this particular project. There are a list of projects on the screen that my department was scheduled for this fiscal year, and we can get into more details probably later, but we'll probably have some type of meeting where Karen could invite you just to discuss the project that I have listed here from my department. But Karen, that's pretty much it right there. I hope I was able to answer a few of the your questions or give the proper information that you need.
Excellent. You did a superb job. And we want you to know that's the format of this process. We not only are going to present the scope of work, you will be able to see all of the CIP projects that are going to be available for the departments. But when we have these monthly sessions, only those projects that are highlighted in yellow are the projects that are being addressed currently and will be released now. And so we want to have the directors on to speak to those projects. We will be providing you with scopes and more information on the projects and how it's broken down. So as we were able to see, you'll be able to identify if you have the ability and capabilities to do any of these works, exactly what they're looking for. And if you provide, dark granite, or if you provide cement, or if you have an ability as a minority company to do any of the work that you see outlined here, then you know in advance that this is coming up. You can position your firm and prepare. That is what the disparity study challenged us as a city to be able to do, to give access notice, because prime contractors have a myriad of businesses and employees that are capable of quickly and timely responding to solicitations. And my smaller businesses, especially micro businesses, which we define as businesses where you're the business, 2 or less people, and you're the accountant and you're the one that's doing the solicitation, we understand. And so while we do have to adhere to the requirements and the policies and procedures in the procurement code to be able, once that solicitation is released and you're required to respond in a certain amount of time, that response time is not a barrier. We have to ensure a fair and impartial process. And that means we have to follow the policies, rules, and regulations for procurement. However, this is a measure by which we at the City of Miramar, and we're trying to do through BID and EBD, the Economic and Business Development Department, to make sure that we give you the resources and the information ahead of time so that you can position yourself and your business. So if you know that this project is coming up and you see that it's something that possibly you're able to take advantage of, you definitely, if you're not a registered vendor with the City of Miramar, again, when I send out my thank you for attending today's session, I will be providing you with a link so that if you're not registered as a vendor with the City of Miramar, we definitely encourage you to become registered as a vendor. In fact, I have Brenda Martin on the line with the procurement department, and she could talk a little bit more about vendor registration and the importance. And I want you to know Brenda remains and has agreed to participate in these as an additional measure of procurement and their commitment to ensuring that you know that they're available to you. They will be on these lines if you have any particular procurement questions as it relates to any of the projects that we make available. We do know that apparently the participants are not able, for whatever reason, to unmute themselves and be able to communicate with us. but you can enter any questions that you have in the chat box, and hopefully Paul, who's moderating and assisting with the technical aspects of today's session, will be able to read those, or I will be able to see those and be able to communicate with you. So please, 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 Brenda, how are you? Can you say hello to us? And thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Thank you all for attending. I am Brenda Martin and with the Procurement Department for City of Miramar. As for the vendor registrations, for every project that we advertise on demandstar.com, there is a website that we put on there, a website address that we put on there to alert all interested vendors of how to register their company with the City of Miramar. Also on the city's website, there is also a link there to show you how to register with the City of Miramar. We highly encourage that for every firm so that you can keep abreast of the activities and solicitations that are going out for the City of Miramar. Once you are registered on that website, your company is linked up with our demandstar.com so that you will automatically receive solicitations that pertain to the field of work that your company offers. So that is the best spiel that I can say right now concerning vendor registration. We highly encourage it. And if there are any questions, please feel free to send me an email on the chat or send me a chat. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Brenda. And thank you for your continued dedication and support of local, small, minority, and disadvantaged businesses. And so,
Excuse me, Karen, if I may,
Yes,
this
sir.
is Daryl again, if I may, my apology for interrupting you. One of the
You're
item
not.
I have to mention is Demand Star. You're going to hear the term Demand Star. This is a city, I guess I could call it a web access to all the construction documents that are being solicited by the city. And I highly encourage each and every contractor or vendor that is looking to do work with the city. You have to get registered on Demand Star. That's the city's primary web-based where we have all the construction documents and all of the advertisements for various projects. They have access to the plans, to all of the construction documents, and the sooner that they can get registered with Demand Star, the better. It works pretty much as an advantage. So you have all the information on projects that are being advertised for solicitation from the city, construction projects. So I don't know if Brenda, if you could share the Demand Star access, maybe not in this form, but maybe later Karen can possibly get it out to the possible vendors and contractors and subcontractors. But that Demand Star is key. That's Brenda, correct me if I'm misspeaking, but that access to Demand Star is very important. That's all I want to mention. Thank you.
You are absolutely correct, which is why, and one of the things that you're going to get, again, for everyone that participated today, we will be sending out a thank you for participating. And with that, I'm going to be providing you with the link, and the procurement department has created a step-by-step PDF guide to ensure you with an ease of navigating through the vendor registration process. Again, we cannot stress enough. Your first step to being able to position your firm to be able to do business with the City of Miramar is through vendor registration. When you go on to vendor registration, that is your way of communicating effectively to the City of Miramar of those goods and services that you and your firm are able to perform and provide. When you communicate that to the City of Miramar through your vendor registration, here's the beauty of it. The City of Miramar now knows, number one, you exist. Second of all, the city of Miramar, whenever a solicitation is being released from the procurement department, that notification will electronically be given directly to you through your email, because now the city is aware that you provide the particular goods and or service that they're looking to secure, and you get an email notification that the city of Miramar is looking to purchase the good and service that you provide, and you'll have a copy of that solicitation, and you would have an opportunity to take advantage of that contracting opportunity by responding to the solicitation and being able to position yourself to be, hopefully, one of the successful bidders. Okay, that process begins with vendor registration. If you are a registered vendor, one of the things that we found during COVID is that a lot of businesses have actually expanded their opportunities in the work, the services that they perform, and some of the products that they now make available. We need to know if you've grown your business. We need to know if your services have expanded. We need to know if you're providing additional products that you may not have initially listed with your vendor registration when you signed up before. So if you're not, and you've been a registered vendor with the city of Miramar for an extended period, then we need you to contact and to go into your vendor registration to update the information and to ensure that we have correct telephone numbers. God forbid you've gotten a new telephone number throughout this process, to ensure we have a contact information with someone that's going to be picking up the call. Because again, not all of the purchasing that takes place in the city of Miramar comes directly through procurement. What do I mean? These department directors, every department within the city of Miramar, have purchasing power. And one of the things that they do, especially if you're a local business, if they're looking for local businesses or small purchases within a certain dollar value, the departments and the individuals in the departments, believe it or not, are able to make 3 calls and call businesses to see if you're able to respond to a particular need or service, or a type of tool or something that they're looking to purchase within that department. Those purchases do not require a full solicitation. It's just a telephone call to get 3 quotes. That is why we cannot stress enough for you to ensure that the telephone number that you have in your vendor registration is not just a number to your 1-800 number. We need a telephone number so that when those departments and individuals that are looking to make those small purchases or those 3 quotes, that's a number where someone will be answering the phone. Go into your vendor registration, ensure that all of your information has been updated, ensure that you update and let us know if you've expanded your services and your equipment and things of that nature. Provide and respond to all of the questions and information that's being asked of you in that process. Also, when I send the PDF of the step-by-step process to assist you in getting registered, I copy Mr. Adriel James. He's the procurement analyst expert that actually assists individuals in getting registered as vendors. I always include him on the email so that you will have his information. If you get stuck, if you have a problem, maybe you've registered and you've forgotten something, or you can't have access, or you're having difficulty assessing your vendor's registration or the process, you can give a call out, not to Brenda, but to Mr. Adriel James. I will be contacting and copying him so that you can reach out to him, and he is phenomenal. I often copy him when I send in these, and the businesses have been giving us feedback that he responds quickly and efficiently and will be able to definitely assist you in your vendor registration process. Now, on the screen, again, these sessions are to ensure that we are empowering you with good information to be able to capitalize on all contracting opportunities that can currently and will be in the future made available to the city of Miramar. Also, I want you to have, as on the screen, the contact information. These are the departments, with the exception, of course, of BID is not a department, but these are the departments that have um, items that have been identified as CIP projects for fiscal year 2022. And they will be the projects and the departments that will be discussed every month when we come on and we're talking about various projects or items that are now available where we're providing you. There may be a prime contractor already in place, kind of like with that phase 4 project that we gave you earlier. When that's the case, we'll give you the actual project manager. But we want you to know Parks and Recreation, the director for Parks and Recreation is Miss Liz Valera. You have her telephone number. They are available to you. She has an assistant director, Mr. Billy Neal. And again, we have other directors and individuals that are on, but we're having technical difficulty, but it's okay. Here is their contact. I'm giving you their contact information. Those projects that I showed to you, engineering and strategic development. The city engineers, Mr. Salvador Zuniga. Here's his telephone number. Feel free to give him a call about any of the projects that either were released today or those that will be coming and forthcoming in the future. There's an assistant city engineer, Miss Leah DeReal. She was the one that provided the scopes of services and all of that project information that Mr. Bajar of Bajar Construction earlier. They are equipping me to be able to give you this information, but they are also available to you should you have any additional questions about any of the information that's being released today. Okay, support services. That's Mr. Darrell Johnson. You heard from him earlier. He is the city's construction administration, and of course, here's his number. The contracts administration manager, Ms. Brenda Martin, she said and made available, should you have any questions, not about vendor registration, about any of the projects that you see under support services that you may need from a procurement aspect, Brenda is available, and there's her number for you to reach out to her about those projects. Now, and next month, we weren't able to go over all, we'll be talking about other projects and things that are coming up. Again, the purpose of the CIP project scope review sessions are to give you timely notification of either projects that have been CIP capital improvement projects that have been released recently and have opportunities, and they have prime contractors that are looking to meet contract required participation goals and are looking for minority contractors within whom that are ready, willing, and able, and perhaps provide those services that they're looking to secure to meet their contract requirement. Then we want you to know not only what the scope is available so that you can look and see if you're able to participate, but also to give you the information so that you can reach out to them. Of course, my information is there. If you need anything in terms of a copy of the presentations or anything in terms of that, when you need to speak to an engineer, I am not the person. I do not have the qualifications to decide what aspect of any particular engineering project needs to be pulled apart. Only the city engineer and/or assistant city engineer can assist you in that capacity. When it comes to construction, we want you to speak with the experts. We want you to speak to Darrell Johnson, our construction administrator, if you have any questions about that 9/11 scope of work that we outlined for you, and so on and so forth. Feel free to come again. We talked a little bit about what's coming up, that green space contractor workshop. And in that contractor workshop, you are literally going to have 3 different directors, and I want to reiterate that are going to be speaking to you. One of which will be Parks and Recreation, Ms. Liz Valera. She and her team have identified a little over $200,000 we saw earlier. And Billy Neal, they're going to be there. They're going to be going over the scopes of work on December 7th. From 9 to 11 a.m. right here at the City of Miramar and City Commission. I will be forwarding this flyer to you. And the City Commission is right here at 2300 Civic Center Place. Please come between the hours of 9 and 11 a.m. and you will have an opportunity to speak directly to them, review those scopes of work, review exactly what it is. They're going to talk in more detail about what they're looking for with those green space landscaping contractors we're trying to identify through a pool. Procurement will also be at this session, a representative from procurement, to give you information that you may need. We're going to have business tax because on the flyer, you may remember, it says you need to make sure you have a current business license. And so we will have the people from the business tax office in the room. They are available to ensure perhaps your license has expired. We want you to know, and we want to have those resources available to you so that you can position yourself and you have everything you need right there in that room to ensure that when you leave, having taken the time, we really appreciate, we definitely understand and respect that there is value to every time you close shop to come to this city. And we want to maximize the benefit of your time and to ensure we're not wasting your time, but instead we're giving you sufficient information that's going to empower you to be able to act and be able to take full advantage of every contracting opportunity that the city releases. We are definitely going to have business tax there. We're going to have vendor registration and procurement. We're going to have the prime contractors there for those that are available for any projects that's open. We're going to have the directors of the departments that are going to be there. We're going to have the assistant directors of the departments that are going to be there. Myself, I will be there. We will have a representative from the Economic and Business Development Department there, and they will be showcasing and giving you all of the information and any flyers for any upcoming opportunities that they will be making available to assist minority and small and local businesses. Daryl and Brenda will be in the room that day to ensure that they're there to answer any questions that you may have on any of the CIP projects. Okay, again, this measure and these webinar sessions are designed and have been implemented as a direct request for local businesses, saying to the City of Miramar leaders, we need you to ensure that we are being given an opportunity to review upcoming projects before you release the solicitation, to review upcoming projects and the scopes of work to be able to clearly identify if we have the capability to be able to assist. We want you to let us know ahead of time before the prime contractors go and build teams so that we can get their information, look at what they're looking to add and in terms of sub-consultants, and we can reach out to them ahead of time before they finish completing their teams to be able to see and identify if there are more inclusion opportunities or if they would consider reviewing your capability statement. Certain things are not barriers. We expect you to come as a minority business ready, willing, and able and prepared to take advantage of those opportunities. What does that mean? I'm glad you asked. We expect you to come with a completed capability statement, and that capability statement explains exactly what certifications you have, if any, in terms of being a minority contractor. That capability statement shows if you have any particular equipment, because as you will hear in the Green Space Contractor Workshop, there are certain equipment that the various departments are going to want to know that you have in place. And that's going to be a part of that solicitation once it gets released, trying to identify the pool of contractors. And so your capability statement, if you are such a landscaping minority business, is to ensure that you identify all of the equipment that you have available and can use. Because when the city directors see those things, it places you at an advantage of being one of those that they pick up the phone and try to reach out to, especially local businesses, which can be consulted, and procurement is going to be in the room. The directors have asked for procurement to be there at their contractor workshop. They're going to be telling you what it is that they're looking for when they're trying to identify local firms, and the extent into which they can go and secure local firms without having to do a full solicitation process. If you are a local business, $7,500 or less is a scope that a department is looking to spend. I want you to know, procurement wants you to know, the directors want you to know that they can place a telephone call to you, given that you've given us a correct number and updated all the numbers in your vendor registration. We can place a call to you as a local firm and say we're looking for a local contractor or we're looking for a minority contractor to assist in this, that, or the other capacity. And so those are the things that we want. We will have insurance. It's going to be something that not is necessarily a barrier, but have been known to create barriers for small, minority, and disadvantaged businesses. We will have an insurance consultant and expert at that contractor workshop that will be there to assist you in being able to secure and to identify if you are able to do the work and secure the insurance that is needed on any project. We will also have someone that bonding. We in the city of Miramar, we're very, very fortunate to have a bonding agency who has the expertise and capability of assisting micro, small, local, minority, disadvantaged businesses in securing bonding opportunities. They are aware of the most current federal assistance and programs that are available and grants that are available for businesses to ensure, again, insurance and bonding are not barriers within themselves, but have been known to create barriers for smaller minority and disadvantaged businesses and perhaps the way in which they are being implemented. And so we will have those tools in place. We will have those experts in place. We will have everything that you will need to ensure that when you leave that contractor workshop on Tuesday, December 7th, where we're looking to secure, and there will be a solicitation that will be released trying to identify and secure a pool of minority contractors that can be used in the process of future landscaping needs for the city of Miramar. Now, one of another wonderful things that we have here at the city of Miramar are library of consultants, and I'm glad Brenda's still on, because that's another way, just like the pool of green space landscaping contractors we're looking to secure for all of those CIP, landscaping, tree removal, irrigation, and things of that nature. There are libraries of consultants, and those measures are put in place by procurement to allow smaller and disadvantaged businesses to be able to go through the solicitation process, be secured for either a library within the city of Miramar. They have engineering libraries, they have construction libraries, they have various libraries where a procurement process goes out, businesses respond, and a group of businesses are encapsulated in that library that remain available for uses throughout that contract term. In some cases, they've been as long as 3 years. And so when a department is looking to secure your service and you're in a particular library, they will not have to go to a solicitation process. The departments and the individuals know that they can go into that library and secure any business that's been successfully added to the library as a result of a procurement that took place for all 3 years for your services and goods. That's what we're looking to do for the pool of landscaping, irrigation, those at the pest control, and those things that we're looking to do on December 7th. That pool will be for a term, 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. It hasn't been decided because, again, we're doing this in advance of the solicitation. We want to know, and the departments that have come and agreed to participate and partner with BID in trying to identify and ensure that we develop and bring about smaller, more manageable scopes of work for our local small, micro, and minority businesses to be able to manage. And the way that they're doing it is through this pool. Whatever the term of time that's allotted, once that solicitation is released, you will remain in that pool, and not just the 3 departments who showcased today that they have CIP projects in that area of landscaping, irrigation, tree removal, but any and all departments, including Parks and Recreation, on other measures for various parts that they need in those capacities. If you have the expertise qualifications just know that you can be called upon by any city department leader and or staff that's looking for any type of service that you make available. So thank you again so much. Brenda, did you need to say anything about the libraries or add anything to what I just said?
The only thing that I have to add to that is that the engineering and architectural library will be going out this month. And there's a sub-consultant library as well, and that probably will be going out this month as well. Or by January, right? I'm sorry, January of next year, that's going to be going out. So there's the engineering and engineering and architectural library will be going out this month, and that's going to be online on demandstar.com for a month, and it'll be closed in December because that has to be, we have to get that all finalized and presented to commission for January of 2022. So again, demandstar.com is the website that the city uses to advertise all of our projects. However, we also do advertise in the newspaper, the local newspaper, and in Broward Legal. And we're also trying to expand our advertising also through Broward County. We're trying to partner up with them with seeing if that is possible for us to advertise through Broward County as well, their actual website. So we are looking for all different avenues of advertising so that the word is out for every project that is advertised through for the city of Miramar. So keep a lookout for that. And that's about all that I have to say concerning that. Thank you.
Excellent, Brenda. Now, you see the many benefits you get from attending sessions like this, along with all of the CIP projects that are being released this month, you gotten information on, and now you've been equipped and you know that we're going to be expanding those libraries again. All of you that are on, I'm going to be saying thank you for attending and giving you the link to vendor registration. As you navigate yourself through the vendor registration process, it's also going to allow you to register for DemandStar and position yourself to give all of the information that's needed to ensure that you're ready, willing, and able. And when those libraries are released, you do not have to worry, because if you are a registered vendor and you have identified that you're an engineering company, when the engineering solicitation for the library is released, you'll automatically receive an email into your inbox. Now, I communicated to you earlier to be sure that you're providing us with the most current and an accurate and a telephone number whereby someone will be answering. Likewise, when you're entering an email, please add an email address. We understand so many of you have these email addresses, info@. If it's an email that is not being constantly monitored, you are not assisting us in being able to effectively communicate to you when these opportunities become available. Please add an additional email that you know someone is monitoring regularly. Okay, we understand that's something the micro businesses, you're busy running the company, and you can't always stay in front of an email, like you can't always run to the city of Miramar to attend our webinars. That's why we do things like this virtually, because we respect your time, but we also know that you need this information. We are doing these things to help you grow your business. And these are the measures that are going to be needed. And when you go on, update your vendor registration, or make sure if you're registering for the first time that you are providing us with an email address, so that when that email comes from procurement with the solicitation to notify you that the city has now released a solicitation looking to expand that engineering library, that sub-consultant library, and so on and so forth, it comes directly to your email. We can't stress that enough. And so now, one of the things that I said to you earlier, alluded to earlier, I want you to know and understand everything we're trying to do. When we, the city of Miramar, place percentage requirements onto contracts, And I said earlier that they will have to do, for example, meet the 15% CBE, SBE goal. We use these acronyms so frequently. One of the things that is important to me to ensure is that you understand what they mean. When we say CBE, it's a county business enterprises. That's what CBE is referring to. SBE are referring to small business enterprises. The city of Miramar is not a certification agency yet. And so one of the things the BID Act communicates and our BID policies and procedural manual communicates is that we have community stakeholders through whom we know that they have a certification process, and it's a vetting process that the city of Miramar respects and adheres to. We want to partner because why? Miramar, we're a subset of the county. We are located in Broward County. And so we partner with the Office of Economic and Small Business Development, OESBD, and these are the certifications that the county have, the CBE and the SBE. So when you see on contracts and prime contractors see that they have a 15% CBE and SBE goal, we educate them that we're looking for them to utilize the counties, meaning the Office of Economic and Small Business Development, OESBD, certification list, which we have, and they can get from us and or go into the county's website. We need you to go to OESBD and get certified, because when you do, it positions you, it's nice if you're a local business, yes, they can utilize your services. But if you're a local business and you're certified, that gives the prime contractor even more or greater, or it maximizes your ability for inclusion. Okay? So here's what we're talking about when we say CBE. Here's what we're talking about when we say SBE. And so again, position yourself, do the things that are required so that you can be able to take more advantage. Now, the next thing that I talked to you about was the local participation. The city of Miramar also places, and they're really good about ensuring that we have a required percentage goal for minority participation for local contractors. And what does that mean? Each firm utilized to meet the 5% or whatever percentage local goal must qualify as local pursuant to Division 10, Subdivision A, smaller case B, of the city's procurement code. And here's the definition that is contained in that code. A local business shall, it says, number one, be domiciled within the city of Miramar city limits. Number two, in order to be a local business, you have to also comply with all city of Miramar licensing requirements and be current on all city taxes. When the code, the procurement code, and when we're talking about local businesses, this is the definition that will secure and give us assurance that you meet the certification or you meet the qualifications of being identified as a local business. And then when the prime contractors are looking and the department's staff are looking to identify and reach out to those local businesses, if they have a project $7,500 or less, you have to have be domiciled within the city of Miramar limits, and you have to be positioned and current on all city of Miramar licensing requirements. Okay, we understand that you may or may not know, and a lot of things are going on. When we have that event on December 7th, again, we will have procurement there. We will have business tax there. We will have all of the city departments in place to allow you and permit you an opportunity to take care of everything at once. We know that these are times that are really, really more challenging than before COVID. We understand that your time is very, very valuable, especially as a small business. In most cases, those micro businesses, when you show up here, we know that that means you're not making money. That means you've sacrificed enough to close shop, to come, because you believe that we're going to be offering something that's going to help you either grow your business or position you to take advantage of upcoming contracting opportunities. We do not take your appearance lightly. We do not take for granted the extent to which you are sacrificing and availing yourself to be able to secure the information you need to grow. Just know that we will have all of those tools and services and departments and people in place to ensure that you can maximize the benefit of that time that you are going to invest to grow your business. That is something that we're going to take advantage of. And that pretty much concludes this CIP project scope review session. Again, we did it good. We set aside 10 till noon. I will never take advantage and extend the session just because we will only review those projects that are available and being either released in a particular month or have been released, and notify you of the prime contractors that have been successful in securing those opportunities and giving you an opportunity and information so you can reach out to them. And we want you to know, and at the end of every session, we will let you know when the next CIP review session will take place. As you can see on the screen, next month's CIP review session will take place on Thursday, December 9th, 2021. Again, when I send you that thank you, yes, I'm going to give you all the information you need to be successful. I'm going to attach the step-by-step guide so that you can register as a vendor. I am going to attach only for those of you that respond to me and ask for a copy of any of the information that you saw in today's PowerPoint presentation. I will be submitting that information and making it available for you. The contact information for any of the departments and the department directors and assistant directors, I can make that available for you. And on December 9th, the next sessions, we have 2 departments that we know that are going to be reviewing, and the department deck directors. And we will have worked out the technical kinks, hopefully, so that you can not only all of the directors that come on, and thank you, Director Collins, he is still on the line, he and his team, and I do apologize for them not having been able to speak. And I'm going to respectfully ask that Director Collins attend again for us on December 9th, once we will have worked out all of the technical difficulties. And he's clapping his hands so that he is in agreement, so he can speak to you directly about all of the upcoming wonderful projects and opportunities that are going to be available to you through Public Works. I want you to not only hear from me. It's nice that the city leaders have empowered me to be the face of BID and to be able to go out and to meet with you and speak with you directly. It's more important for us to be able to avail these directors and assistant directors and city engineers and procurement experts to you so that you can speak and encounter and engage with them directly yourselves. Okay, so the 2 departments that are going to have information for the next sessions will be the IT department. And in case you do not know, the IT department within the city of Miramar encompasses of over 15% of the city's budget. So you might want to make sure you attend Thursday, December 9th session so that you can see what, if any, opportunities CIP projects will be coming up and made available to you through IT. I don't know, hopefully, but we also will have Dr. Virgin and his team, the utilities department, and all of the projects that they have or will be having and making available to you in terms of the capital improvements budget for fiscal year 2022. Thank you. Just know that these sessions are being advanced in direct response to small local businesses' requests for more information. Feel free. We're always open and available and receptive to your feedback in terms of the capability to which we are implementing these things and in response to your request to ensure that we're giving you sufficient information timely to be able to help your business grow. Thank you again for joining today's session. That concludes our first launch of our CIP project review session. Please, I'll be sending this information. Position yourself. If you take advantage of anything that we've made available today, reach out to those directors and be sure to tune in again next month so that you can see what other opportunities IT and utilities will be making available. Have a good afternoon and be sure to do what you need to do to take action on what's been made available to you. Thank you. That concludes this session.